Como 1907 have just been promoted after only declaring bankruptcy in 2016. They were then put into Serie D in 2017 and have since made their way up through Italian football to play in the top flight this season. And that's because in 2017, Como came under new ownership when the wife of Michael Essien bought the club. And now shareholders and members of the board include Thierry Henry, Dennis Wise, and Cesc Fabregas, who even played 17 games for them, before eventually taking over as interim manager, becoming an assistant manager, and now has been appointed as their official manager going into the new season. But that was until they realised that I wanted the job, and instead they hired the 6 foot of sexiness, Omega Luke. Joining me though will be the new signing of Andrea Bellotti, as well as Rafael Varane, who is also just about to sign for Como. So this Italian side that's gone through many hardships in the last couple of decades finally has a lot of hope, until you stick loads of challenges in front of me and force me to complete them within 10 seasons, including winning the Serie A 3 times, as well as winning the Coppa Italia again 3 times, and finally, of course, lifting a European trophy. But of course, just because we've got Bellotti and Varane doesn't mean we haven't got all the Serie B players about to play in the Serie A. So I've given myself a bit of a budget to help me survive in the first season in the top flight. So at the start of the summer window, I used that budget to bring in a mixture of young, hungry, and up-and-coming talents to the project, alongside some of the experienced heads in world football who have been released from their clubs and coming towards the end of their careers. A combination that will hopefully help us survive in the Serie A this first season and hopefully push us on for bigger things in the seasons after. But there was more signings, as Renan Lodi has joined on a free transfer, as well as the CDM Patrick Berg, who came in from Norway for 4.4 million. And right now, I am not bothered about a style of play. I just simply want to make sure that we are solid and hard to beat. So a deep 4-4-2 with 2 holding midfielders not only suits the players that I have at my disposal and have signed at Como, but something that I enjoy using with an underdog team. I want this team to be hard to beat and horrible to play against, and that's what the 4-4-2 offers me. Now, I've had to keep saving it for some reason. Every time I put in the tactic and then continue, it comes up that I have to re-enter the tactic. I don't know what's wrong, why there's that kind of bug, but anyway, we're playing a 4-4-2 with 2 DMs. My 2 DMs are going to go for a Volante on support and a deep line playmaker on support. When I pick the best 11, it kind of picks itself. Now, I've got Bellotti on a complete forward role. Yes, he's a better pressing forward, but I don't necessarily want him to be too attacking. I kind of want him to be the all-rounder. The wingers, I just want them to be hard-working. They're going up, crossing from the byline, getting further forward. I'm allowing them to roam a little, but because they're deeper in their starting position, it actually really helps us defensively. And I can't really see us holding the ball that often. So it's pointless putting them further up the pitch, where we're just going to get caught out, and my poor fullbacks are just going to be overworked and overrun with marking 2 guys. So I'm really hoping this is just a lot more solid. Also, I forgot to mention they got Pepe Reina in goal, which I found hilarious. Like, the guy's 41, got 7 agility and 12 reflexes. If anything is going in the corners, he ain't getting it, is he? But hey, he's a cool head. He's very experienced. He's a Champions League winner at the end of it. Was he a Champions League winner? I assume he won the Champions League. But anyway, it's a balanced mentality, nothing too serious right now. Okay, I just want them to do their jobs, and hopefully we can really just survive. Dig in. That's the main thing. Dig in, survive. I mean, we played our first game and we won 2-1, but then I realized, like, we're against a Serie B team and we only beat them 2-1. But that's kind of worrying, right? I mean, we didn't even, like, dominate the game. Like, it's all right if you win 2-1, but you got, like, the majority of possession or the most shots. Like, we only had 55% possession. We only had just 1 more shot than them and 1 more on target. And we got Juve first game of the season, by the way. So, hey, good luck to us. In a game that we were actually defensively solid and somehow got a 0-0 win at home. That's right, I said 0-0 win. That's a win in my eyes. Following up with a loss, however, to Genoa. And I was really worried. I mean, not to sound too confident, but we did follow up that loss with 2 very good wins, a 3-0 and a 5-0. I think we might be okay. We might just survive. My only concern really is that the injuries, because I mean, Bellotti is out for 3 to 5 months. He's broke his lower leg. That's not good for a player of the age of 30, and he's supposed to be like our star man up there. And Patrick Catrone, who would usually fill in for him, he's also out for 3 weeks with a twisted ankle. So luck is definitely against us, but we're still fighting. And if there's any team that can really fight when they have been chucked up against the wall a few times, it's Como 1907. So let's simulate the rest of the campaign and see if we can avoid relegation in our first season. No freaking way. I mean, we haven't won it yet. We've got a playoff. But how the hell have we done that? We're top of the league. I thought we'd be down here, battling out against these guys. We only lost 6 games. We already seen one of them at the start. Oh, we didn't even lose to a Milan side. Or Juve. After all this, and we haven't even won it yet. Oh, no. I mean, our goal difference is unbelievable. 45 goal difference. Did we score loads of goals? Insame is quite good, isn't he? Oh my word. He got 17 goals. Belotti, after his leg break, he got 10. I mean, we got to play Atalanta in a playoff. 2-legged though, I think. Yeah, first leg. Quarter-final by Lecce, who got absolutely dumped out, by the way. And we beat them, what, 3-0 or 5-0? We could have been in for a double. First season. I cannot believe we could be winning the league in the first season with Como. Let's see what happens in this playoff. And after I picked my jaw up off the floor and picked a lineup, we were right away under the cosh and fell behind. However, the second half was a different story and Coquelin managed to equalise for us. Belotti then had the huge gonas to dink a penalty down the middle, and an own goal in the 80th minute gives us the advantage in the first leg. 3-1 after the first leg. I am sweating. I cannot believe we're even in this situation. Now we need the coolest head ever, because we need to win the second leg and we somehow win the league. Even if we draw, we win the Serie A with Como. Newly promoted Como in the first season. I've never done anything like this on Football Manager in my life. The second leg was full of drama too, and Atalanta took the lead after just 2 minutes on the clock. However, Belotti snatched a stray pass from the defender and smashed in an equaliser. We then took the lead before half-time in the second leg when Insame powered in another goal. But with our tired legs from the season starting to show through in the latter part of the game, we struggled to hold on and gave up not just 1 goal, but Scamacca went through and scored a third, and we were trailing. But somehow, we held on to the final whistle. We've done it! We're Serie A winners! In the first season, 5-4 on aggregate. I can't believe it. Como have won the Serie A. That's unbelievable. What a season. And we took some hammerings. Look at that, 6-0. Against Parma. Fiorentina 2-1. We almost gave it up at the end there, but we were beating teams like Inter Milan on the final day of the season, by the way. 0-0 draws against Milan. I have no idea how I have managed to pull this off with this Como side. This tactic just seems absolutely mental. I have no clue. No clue whatsoever. I'll stick it up for the channel members and the Patreon members, but I will say this. If you've got to this point in the video and you thought, this is quite entertaining, and you haven't pressed the subscribe button yet, come on, drop me a subscribe. We're on the way to 150k. This deserves it. This is arguably my greatest achievement on Football Manager 2024. First season with Como. Unbelievable. Across the season, we can have a quick look at it. 20 goals from Insame. It doesn't look very good numbers, does it? Catrone got 16. Belotti got 12. He got a very crucial one at the end there. 2. Got 2 crucial ones at the end. We've only been given 11 million. Only got 11 million. How do we follow that up? How do we do that in the Champions League with just 11 million? Do we have, by the way, a goalkeeper next year? Reina isn't planning on retiring. We'll keep him around then. We'll keep him around. This is absolutely mental. We're Serie A winners. I needed to be incredibly smart with my transfers this season with Champions League football, and I brought in Retegui, who was transfer listed by Juventus with some installments. And I followed it up with another hard-working destroyer type of midfielder in Renato Sanchez. Again, a player not wanted by PSG. It feels weird, but this summer it just felt like we were like the home of the unwanted. These 2 players were just sent out to dry by their clubs, and we were like, come to Como. It's beautiful here. There's a reason why George Clooney has decided to buy property here. We did, however, say goodbye to Patrick Cutrone, who wanted to leave the club after 3 amazing years to go to Saudi Arabia. Now, I know it would be absolutely stupid to change tactics after winning the league with this side, but I am the son of the Tinkerer, and Andrea Bellotti as a complete forward is so bad that once Reticue goes into the club, it won't play Bellotti there. It will play somebody different. So I'm going to put him on a pressing forward on support, which he is good at and will play there. And just hope it doesn't change too much. If it does change too much, then maybe we'll have to switch it back. But right now, there's a slight, very, very slight tweak to the tactic that won the league with Como in the first season in the Serie A. I understand that sounds absolutely mental. However, the tweak of the tactic did not change too much and instead kind of looked like we were helping out Bellotti get more involved with the match. I have no idea how we're still doing this. But we've won our first 3 games. All right, not convincingly 2-0, 2-0 or 2-1 against teams that if you've just won the league, you should be beaten. But I'm still just riding high after that. And to be honest, like, we haven't been able to do much. Like, I've been rejecting offers for a 34-year-old Coquelin because I'm afraid we won't, like, have the same kind of flow if we decide to sell them. We've only brought in 2 players. We couldn't do anything else with the money that we had. I'm like, all right, let's just go again. Even though we got Champions League football, which, by the way, look who is welcoming us into Champions League football, Real Madrid. And then we got to play Atalanta, of course, who we almost lost the league title to. Yeah, not for the faint-hearted, it's the Champions League. Just chuck straight in there, season number 2. I even, like, mentioned how we are already 1/3 of the way to one of the challenges, which I didn't anticipate getting to until, like, season 7 or 8. I really thought I was, like, setting the bar too high by saying we'd win 3 of the league titles. We're 1 season down and we've already done it. We could win the No, we won't win the Champions League. We could beat Real Madrid, though. But I guess I will have to settle for a draw against Jamal Musiala and Kylian Mbappe's Real Madrid instead. No expectations. Let's just go and have fun in season number 2. I mean, have fun, but also be really smart and sign 3 very good players on end-of-contract deals in January because we have the knowledge that this Champions League money may only be for 1 season. Oh, we've just been knocked out of Champions League football next year. By a point, and we lost the last game. We sat in 3rd place too. And you know what? 81 points is what Juventus won the league on. We had 80 last year. Still can't believe that. But 71 points this season, just 1 point off of 3rd place Milan. And we lost that last game. Oh my God, we were top for so long. And we held 3rd for so long. We dropped out of 4th position, which would have been Champions League football. On the final day. Now, in the Champions League, we were knocked out the playoff round by Atalanta, but that means we still qualified, baby. That means we still qualified. Quarterfinal by Juventus in the Coppa Italia. We're not having much luck in terms of that challenge. Trying to win 3 of them. We're not getting anywhere further than that. But the knockout playoff round, Atalanta got their revenge 4-3. They battered us 4-0 in the first leg. In the league phase, though, we finished in 13th place. Hey, that ain't bad. We were 1 point behind Real Madrid. Leipzig went on and won it, by the way, but we lost 3 games in total. We lost Eintracht Frankfurt, my favourite German side, by Leverkusen and Atalanta, so they'd done us double there. We also drew against Real Madrid, which was the game we seen, and 4 games we won, including a 3-0 against Arsenal. Oh, yes, please. Away from home as well. The Como boys are rocking up and doing Arsenal at the Emirates. Unbelievable. We got to take that. We definitely got to take that. That's a cracking season, really. We lost 2-1 in the quarterfinals of the Coppa Italia. Juventus went on to win it. Who was the last game of the season that we lost? Roma. We lost to Roma. We actually got battered by a few teams towards the end of the season here. We had a bad February. Very bad February, because that's where we were knocked out of both competitions and potentially the top 3 because of the losses to Salernitana, Milan and Lazio in the league alone. It was a bad February. But the rest of the season, we had an unbelievable time. We had a great start too. We're pulling strings here, and I'm not quite sure how we're doing it. I really not quite sure. In terms of our injury history, I'm kind of curious. Did we miss it? I mean, broken lower leg there for Cassandra, but I don't really recognise him. 4 weeks for Lodi. Twice. Might have hurt us a bit. Down that left-hand side, Renato Sanchez was out for 6 weeks. At one point, Belotti out for another 4 weeks. Injuries weren't as bad maybe as what they were last season. And goals-wise, 22 from Retigui. That's a good signing. That's a very good signing. Now he's wanted by Al Ahly for 30-odd million. How much do we pinch him for? 10 million, which is what he's gone for 3 seasons in a row, by the way. Belotti got 15, and Same got 12, even though he only started 18 games. It's a very good season if we didn't have that season previously where we won the league. Our transfer budget's doing all right. We've got these 3 guys coming in, and we got £20 million. It's not bad, is it? We're in a very good situation right now. We've got Europa League football next year. I'm excited. Let's get this summer underway. And that's exactly what we did, because we wasted no time bringing in a fantastic centre-back from Sparta Prague in Martin Vitek for £7 million, which was also roughly the same price we paid for Matthias Arezzo, a striker option for us that's a lot younger than Belotti to support Retigui up there. A couple of bids came in for Rafael Varane, and he really wanted to leave, so I finally sold him to Saudi Arabia for 21 million. And so on deadline day, we completed the signing of Thomas Araujo from Benfica for 13 million to replace Varane and to make sure we still had strong options this season. And this could not have gone any worse, however, for us, because we lost our first 3 games without scoring a single goal, all against the best teams in our league, and we've got Napoli to play next. So with some slight tweaks to the tactic, we hope that we can get out of this rut very fast. And hopefully we don't take yet another step backwards from our first season in charge at Como. Hey, I'll tell you what, after the start of the season, I will take a 5th place finish. Now, it looks like Milan and Juve have to play out to see who's actually won the league, but 73 points, we're only a point behind Napoli, and we had a terrible start. Now, we only lost 9 games. We even lost that game to Napoli because we got 2 losses against them. So we actually lost the first 4 games of the season, and we only lost 5 after that. We've done really well. We've got to be happy with that. Top scorer of the league with 18, but Belotti's there with 17 again. We can't be too disheartened about that. It was a quarter-final exit in the Coppa Italia, however, 2-0 to Inter Milan. It's still going to be a while, I think, before we end up lifting the Coppa Italia, but we've got to win it 3 times. No time like the present. We need to still be aiming to do it every single season. And in the Europa League, unfortunately, we only got to the round of 16. Now, our target of winning a European trophy was only 1 European trophy. But I think because we overachieved so early on, now we're like, well, we should be winning 1 early. And when we're playing seasons in the Europa League, you like to think it should come nice and easy. It's not going to. We're playing Europa League football again next year, so maybe that is our opportunity. Now, goals-wise, you can see 21 from Belotti, 21 from Retigui, not bad at all, but the new signing, Duranville, got 12 assists with 8 goals, even though he only played 22 games starting. The others was all off the bench. Arezzo came in, did all right. Maybe we should trust him a little bit more. But even Brian Gill, good season from Brian Gill. We've got some new signings on the way, though, and I think you're going to like them. And that's because, once again, I was making my way through the free transfer market with pickups like Fabio Carvalho from Liverpool, as well as the Georgian goalkeeper Mamardashvili, who too will become our #1 goalkeeper next year and is out of contract at Valencia. And finally, I've put in an offer for Mark Gurry from Chelsea, as he is a fantastic striker that will probably start for us and has an amazing goals-to-game ratio despite not always playing. Speaking of strikers, we've changed the right side striker in our tactic back to a complete forward, which helps us better to link the attacks, and we have 2 new starters from those free transfers. And those are the only transfers we had, and our new striker is picking up a good amount of goals too at the start of the season, getting a hat-trick in just his 2nd game. We've been much better at the start of the season too, getting 3 wins and a draw in our opening 4 matches, sitting us top of the league. So we've just got to make sure we maintain that good start now, and who knows how good of a season we could have. No, we've done it again! 89 points, the same as Inter Milan this time round. We got to go into a playoff. We've only lost 3 games all season, including 1 against Inter Milan. Oh, that is heartbreaking. There's also a playoff down the bottom between Roma. Roma's got to play in a playoff. Wow. What an interesting season this has been. The signing of Mark Gay was a good one, though. 24 goals is absolutely exceptional. The guy I knew would be a good signing because he just suits the type of striker that I felt like I was looking for. He's tall, he's fast, he's strong, composed, good finisher, can take penalties too. I knew he'd score a lot of goals, and he's only 22. I think that's a very smart signing. I'm really, really happy with that. That one definitely helped push us from where we were in that 5th place area. We just needed more goals, and he definitely gave us that. Oh, it was a semi-final exit in the Coppa Italia, though, which is kind of disappointing in a way. But we're just like on the cusp of it in terms of the Coppa Italia. Napoli went on and defeated Juve in the final 3-2. What about Europa League? Well, the Europa League, unfortunately, was an Italian side that knocked us out, and they went on to win it as well. It was Atalanta. They knocked us out on penalties. A 2-2, 1-1 in both legs. They went through. They knocked out Lyon in the semi-final, and in the final beat Galatasaray 2-1. So it was a difficult one for us, but look at that. Didn't even lose a game in the league phase. 1 draw away to at home side to Brentford. 7 wins, and look at the goals we were scoring. I bet Mark Gay was up there again. Retigue and... wow, both of them doing very well. We had a phenomenal season. So outside of that, then we went into the round of 16. We knocked out Real Sociedad 3-0. And then that's when we got eliminated by Atalanta. Okay, playoff time, though, against Inter Milan. Oh, we did not need that. We started off so well. 6 minutes, we were 1-0 up at home. But then Renato Sanchez gets sent off. Even though we look like we're dominating the game in a way, Dominic Calvert-Lewin scores an equaliser in the 61st. And Pienko gets one in the 91st minute. Who is that? I've never even heard of him. That's savage. That's really annoying. Second leg. We're not going to have Sanchez. We're going to struggle. I didn't realise how much we'd struggle. We've got to play Renan Lodi at centre-back. Brian Gill at left back. We've got basically a lot of our first team out. We've actually only got 2 substitutes in a way. By the way, Belotti's retiring as well at the end of the season at age 34. And that is because internationals have happened on the 31st of May. Internationals. So we're without Vasic, De Winter, Vitic. That's our centre-back right there. Patrick Berg. And Retigue, our top goal scorer or second top scorer. And we've got 3 suspensions in Leif Davis Bellanova. That's both our fullbacks. And Renato Sanchez. And our main goalkeeper's out, injured. What are we supposed to do here? Yeah, as I expected. 3-0. Lost 5-1 on aggregate. They look like they've got like pretty much all of their players. Which I don't understand why I've got players out on international duty. When they have Calvert-Lewin, I guess he's probably not in the England team, but Martinez, Pavard, Dumfries, DeMarco definitely is in the Italian side. Ah, well. It wasn't to be this year. Unfortunately, we finished in second place in the Serie A. Inter Milan are champions, but we give them a bloody good go. And 89 points as well is higher by 9 points compared to when we won it previously. So we know we have the ability to do it, and we know we're taking it a step further. We just need to be more consistent and have a little bit more luck when we come up against the teams like Inter Milan going forward. We've got the players to do so now, though. Nearly halfway through the challenge with Como and just 1 trophy ticked off out of the 3 we need for the Serie A. Even though we've been in Europe for a while, our finances are rather bleak and we ain't getting any big budgets. Which is why I'm focusing most of our transfers on the end of contract deals, getting Fratesi in for a start, which is amazing, as well as Caleb Akoli. However, I did spend all of our remaining budget on a gamble for the future in Christian Koosman from Bordeaux, who's a striker my scouts rate very high in terms of potential. On the topic of Bordeaux, though, obviously the news broke very recently about them possibly having to just fold completely because of a lot of financial trouble, and that's really sad in my eyes because it's very sad when you see small clubs just disappear because of those problems. But Bordeaux, when I was growing up, was one of the biggest French clubs around. They've obviously a very famous French club with a lot of famous players, and it absolutely sucks. So let's hope it's not the end and possibly a Phoenix club can come from the trouble that they're having. But if you guys want me to do a save with Bordeaux from where they are, maybe even going down into the 3rd division of France, then leave a comment. And if there's enough interest in it, 100% I'll do it. Tactically, we are keeping it the same as last season, and as you can see, Fratesi jumped straight into our lineup. It's been a solid start once again, although we haven't played anybody amazing yet, and hey, we are back in the Champions League action this season, which is exciting. But with this being season number 5 of 10, we need trophies to be on the horizon to complete our challenges. But it won't be the Champions League we're winning. We've been eliminated 4-0 by Real Madrid, but we did get to the quarterfinals, and I think that's a very good thing for us in in terms of where we are. We defeated Monaco in the round of 16. In the league phase, we just missed out on the full qualification there. We lost 2 games against Arsenal and Newcastle. We drew against Dortmund and PSG. Some good results there, really. And we won 4 games. 4 games that you'd like to think were winnable games. We were doing that. We're getting over the line, and that's what I'm pleased with most. We're not losing against somebody who we should be beating and then just getting a lucky win against somebody we shouldn't. In the knockout playoff round, it was Marseille who we defeated. But I tell you what makes me even happier is a Coppa Italia win in extra time with our new guy scoring 2 goals. Not only that, we were actually 3-0 down, 2-0 down, 2-0 down. Before Koeman got the first goal, we then took it to extra time thanks to his equaliser. Unbelievable stuff. And in extra time, we went 4-2 up, 3-2, 3-2 up. They scored in the 100th minute. We scored in the 103rd through Matteo Cerezo. We've won the Coppa Italia against Inter Milan. Come on, let's go. That's 1 out of 3 that we needed. In terms of the league, I've come back at a very interesting point because we have 1 game left. And we're 3 points clear of AC Milan. And I genuinely thought we were going to go into another playoff because we won our last game against Fiorentina quite well as well. And we've only just beaten Milan. And they have been top for a long time. You might have seen it on the graph there under Unai Emery. They've just lost to Napoli. They've lost to Napoli and it's opened up a door. They're away to Salernitana. All we've got to do is beat Venezia. And Venezia are in 12th place. This could be a very good season and a domestic double. Oh, boys, we've done it in style. 6-1 winners against Venezia. That is our 2nd Serie A title. The 2nd Scudetto that we have picked up. That is a domestic double as well. And look how long we've gone without even losing a game as well in the league. It was all the way since February, I think, where we lost to Lecce there. I know Juve in February is one, so the Lecce one was in January. We've done very well, and a domestic double that we really did deserve. 89 points was the same as what we got when, unfortunately, Inter Milan beat us in the playoff, but this time round, AC Milan, they finished 5 points behind us in the end. We didn't have a top scorer other than Retigu, who got 19 there. The whole side, though, has just been really solid for us this year. Dominating Italian football. That's what I like to see. Margay is unhappy. He wants a new deal. He's gonna get it. Don't get me wrong. We've got 3 years left on his contract. He'll get it anyway. But we only got £2 million in the bank. We're not doing very well. All I've done so far is sign somebody in January who's 28. So not exactly a first teamer coming in, boys. It's amazing seeing things like this, though. Putting us 10th with the most league titles in Italy, but with only 2, of course. We also now move to a brand new stadium, the Como Stadium, which holds a capacity of 23,500, with the option, if we wanted to extend it, to 35,000. Which in a way I am sad about because Como Stadium is a beautiful stadium despite its size only holding 8,000 seats. We signed a left back in Sola though. The Spaniard had a great time on loan last season and came in for a £13 million fee, which we paid for through selling Renan Lodi, who is 31 now, and don't get me wrong, he's still a better player than Sola, but in the long term it's the right thing to do. Secondly, we've brought in another Spanish talent in Pino, who is a very aggressive centre defensive midfielder, young but still already good enough to start in that midfield. And again, that's because we sold Patrick Berg, who's also 31, to Damac for 12 million. It's about time that Koeman definitely needs to be locked into that supporting striker role this season. He didn't play much last season in terms of first team football, but he did get 26 goals in 43 youth games with 12 assists. So with these 2 youngsters being locked in at the start of the season, it hasn't been great for us as champions with just a point from 3 games so far. Maybe it's just getting used to the new stadium, the surroundings or something, but we need to hope that things pick up across season number 6. Well, we didn't win the league, but I guess taking 2nd place after the start is okay. I mean, Milan, we are never catching that. 96 points is absolutely mental. They just won a stupid amount of games. They lost the same amount as us, but we drew way too many. But 84 points is still really good. Remember, we won the season last year on 89 points, and Milan also had 84. So, yeah, I mean, we'll take it for sure. But maybe there's other opportunities for us to win different trophies this season. Unfortunately not. The Coppa Italia was also won by AC Milan after we were knocked out in the quarter-final. They went on to beat Napoli, who knocked us out in the final 2-0. But there is still Champions League football. I don't believe that. Napoli again knocked us out in the semi-final as well. By the looks of it, it's them versus Liverpool to play in the final. So we might have back-to-back Italian winners here because Juve won it last year. Oh, what? That is so frustrating. I mean, we did very well in the league phase. We only finished behind Real Madrid and Man City. We lost 6-1 to Barcelona. Got absolutely trounced by them. But we won 7 games. And we were scoring a lot of goals. We even beat Liverpool at Anfield 2-1. In the league phase. It was a very good league phase for us. Into the round of 16. We knocked out the champions Milan. So Italian sides all over the place playing against each other. The quarter-final we knocked out Ajax. Just a 1-0 across the 2 legs. A very boring fixture. But that's when, of course, we faced Napoli. And they beat us 4-0 on aggregate. That's a tough one to take. But across the season, though, we trusted the players that we've brought in that we thought they need game time. Koeman, as you can see, scored 25 goals in 50 appearances. In case you're not very good at maths, that's a goal every other game. He also got 7 assists as well. At the back end of the season, I've made sure that I've put Mark Guehi in every single game as well because he was actually starting on the bench a lot for Retegui. Not that Retegui was doing poorly, but I kind of wanted to give the 24-year-old more game time than the 31-year-old, and it started to pay off because he scored 23 goals as well. Jose Pino, I mean, actually, we'll have a look at Koeman's development. Really good development. Physicals is going up. Finishing ability is great. Just need that composure to start rising a little bit. Maybe a proper goal scorer. Jose Pino has picked up a couple of injuries throughout the season, as you can see here. He was injured for the last game, but he still played 49 games and got 11 assists and 3 goals, which is great for a CDM. And look at the development. It was really crucial we gave him development early to see development like that, and I'm really happy with that. So that's fantastic. Sola, actually, I didn't lock him in because I didn't need to. He was just naturally playing as many games as possible whenever he was fit. 45 games he played, 3 goals and 8 assists. And again, his development, it's better than what it was at the start of the season. You can see a lot of down arrows here, but he has developed quite well, especially in that left-back role. So I'm pleased with that. Very pleased with that, but I'm also more pleased because we've got £27 million in the transfer budget. Finally, we got a bit of financial power to do something in the transfer window. We still got, obviously, debts and loans, and our finances aren't amazing, but we've had a good season in the Champions League, and that's why we've got a bit of a budget next year. A budget that I first spent to bring in Diouf, who I believe could be a fantastic left winger for us now that Brian Gill is close to 30 years old. The only other sign I made was a right back who was dirt cheap. The 19-year-old has a great starting point and came in for just 275k, which was a release clause. And he's got 3 assists in his first game, which, as you can see, it's been a phenomenal start for us, winning all 3 games that we've played and scoring 4 goals in each of them. Our best 11 is slightly off, which is why I'm locking in a couple of players, but I'm happy with how our squad depth is this season. Things seem to be clicking for us in all the right ways, and the team have great chemistry, allowing for us to score some beautiful goals. But let's not forget our challenge with this Como side as we go into season number 7. We have 2 out of the 3 Serie A titles, just the 1 Coppa Italia so far from 3, and we have still yet to win a European trophy. So a domestic double this season would be a perfect way to set us up nicely with 3 seasons left to complete the rest of the challenges. Now, I don't want to jinx it, but we're at a prime point, 7th of May, where Como could be winning a treble. The perfect treble as well. We're currently top of the Serie A by a point above Napoli. That's going to be difficult to keep them off. They've been very good this season, as have we. We're also in the Coppa Italia final against Napoli. Remember who knocked us out of both the Champions League and the Coppa Italia last year? It was Napoli. We need our revenge. But in the Champions League, we're about to play the second leg of the Champions League semi-final against Arsenal, and it's currently 1-1. If we manage to go through, we play Paris Saint-Germain in the final, and we could be on for a treble. Oh, don't hold your breath, though. Well, the first one we got over the line, the Coppa Italia, we went on and won it just the 1-0 as well, and a lovely little beautiful team goal. This is why I love this tactic and formation. Look at the quick play between our 2 strikers, and a lovely finish. 1-0, 1 trophy down, 2 to go. 2 trophies down and a domestic double. Como are champions once again, and that means we also complete one of the challenges. For the first time in this video, we've won 3 Serie A titles out of 3. But what a season we had. 88 points, 85 was Napoli. We did very well. Reticue, by the way, 23 goals. I allowed him just to ball out and play. Napoli have an unbelievable team. They've got the likes of Joe Rego, who, by the way, looks great. Not as good as when I've had him in the past, but they've also been very good defensively. Alex Murray with second highest clean sheets there. They were very tough. They only lost 5 games, which was less than us, and one of them was against us, and they were all away from home too. They were a force to be reckoned with at home. Como are still Serie A champions. However, what about the Champions League? Did you win the second leg? We've got PSG in the final. I know I can't believe it either, but somehow in the second leg we won 3-1 at Arsenal. In a huge game, we go on to face PSG in the final. And once again, it's an Omega Luke 4-4-2 masterclass. Look at that, they didn't even have a shot on target. They only had 2 shots all game. 1-0 is all it took. A Duranville goal. It was scrappy, but it's how this tactic works sometimes. You've just got runners that run through, your strikers are playing wide, the keeper couldn't stop the ball, and the opposite winger is there to tap it in. Beautiful. That's exactly what we needed. With a PSG side, by the way, that has the likes of Jude Bellingham and Florian Wirtz and Jamal Musiala playing for them. They've got an unbelievable side, but it was not good enough. And Como are champions, and not only that, they're treble winners. That means to complete this challenge, because that is a European trophy one, the best one as well, which I did not expect to do in Season 7. All we've got to do now is win the Coppa Italia next season, and we've done this challenge in 8 years. And so the only signing we made through the summer with our limited budget was a goalkeeper to replace our backup who left the club, but this guy can still challenge Mamardashvili in goal for sure as our number 1. The development of our young players we trusted with first team spots last season has been key, and the growth in their skills is clear to see, and in some cases has shot them up to be the best player in their position in all of Italian football. But is it enough for this Como side to win the Coppa Italia this season and complete all 3 of our challenges? Well, it's only the 9th of May and we've already been crowned champions of the Serie A. Como with 86 points, Napoli with only 73. There's still 3 games left, but no, we are crowned champions. That's our 4th Serie A title in 8 seasons. That's absolutely mental for a newly promoted side. Gary got 23 goals as well. And our right back's got the highest average rating across the season. He has been absolutely fantastic for us. And clean sheets, Ferry with 19. That's been amazing for us. But the Coppa Italia, have we even got to the final? Yes. Yes, we have. There is a chance. Now, we were knocked out as champions of the round of 16 in the Champions League. But we're going to ignore that, because all we care about is, can we defeat Juventus, the most successful Italian club in history, to complete our challenge of 3 Coppa Italias in only 8 seasons? Let's find out. Oh. Not only did we win it, but we dominated. 4-0 in the final. 4-0. 4 different goal scorers as well. We played our socks off. They only had 1 shot on target. It's very much like the Champions League final. We are just amazing in cup finals, it seems. We had a player sent off in the 92nd minute, Mr. Bet, but that's fine. We've done very well, and we've won the Coppa Italia, and you know what that means? That is our 3rd Coppa Italia that we've won, and that completes the challenge. Which means we complete all 3 of our challenges with newly promoted Como, and we've done it with just 2 seasons to spare. Now I know what you're thinking. You're all going to want to know how you can get your hands on this tactic, which seems to have brought a lot of success. And as always, I always put my save game file available for Patreon and channel members on YouTube and Patreon, so you can get your hands on this save game file right now and take the tactic from that. That's available on the £5 tier, but I will click through right now so you can kind of understand just the instructions on what it's going to be, because this tactic has been phenomenal for me and I've barely tweaked it. Just a couple of player roles, and I've even kept pretty much every instruction the same throughout the 8 seasons that I have used. So if you've enjoyed this video, please smash a like. And here on screen right now, I took my club Plymouth Argyle and I stuck him in the European Super League just to make life difficult, to see if I could make them the best team in Europe. However, I wasn't manager of them, and at one point Pep Guardiola was. Go check that video right now, and thank you very much for supporting.